The Pixel 10 series is finally here and Google is calling it the AI phone of the future. But hold up. Does that mean this thing is going to make your life easier or just spam you with creepy auto replies while draining your battery faster than ever? With the Pixel 10 series, Google's just not promising better specs, it's promising a smarter phone, smarter cameras that coach you into taking better shots, AI that literally speaks another language in your voice, displays so brightly that could roast marshmallows, and yes, even a foldable Pixel that actually does proof. Now I know what you are thinking. Do I really need AI to tell me how to reply to a text? Or what's the point of a 100x zoom if the picture looks like a watercolor painting? And trust me, we are going to tackle all of that. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which Pixel 10, whether it's the base, the Pro, the XL or the Fold, it's worth your money, which one you should completely skip, and where Google absolutely crushed it, versus where the Samsung and Apple still win. So if you are wondering whether the hype around the AI in smartphones is genius or just marketing flub, you are in the right place, because today we are going to break down every single Pixel 10 model, compare them to the head-to-head with the iPhone or the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and decide if Google has finally built the AI beast of 2025 or just another overpriced slab of glass. Shalom to you and let's get started. Let's start with the design. If you love the Pixel 9, you will really love the Pixel 10 because it looks almost identical. We still get that iconic camera bar across the back, which I actually love because unlike iPhones or Galaxies, it doesn't wobble on the table. The base Pixel 10 has a glossy back while the Pro model flips with the matte finish and classy, but also a little slippery. And about sizes, Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro stick with a 6.3-inch OLED while the Pixel 10 Pro XL goes with the massive at 6.8 inches. All models are rocking Gorilla Glass Victus 2 aluminum frames with IP68 water resistance, pretty much the premium checklist. Oh, and say goodbye to your SIM cards because Google's gone eSIM only, just like Apple. Some people will hate that. The screens are gorgeous. The Pixel 10 is 1080p at up to 120Hz, but the Pro model step it up with LTPO panels that can drop to 1Hz for a better battery life, hitting crazy peaks of 3300 nits brightness. And about outdoors, that's not an issue because it can handle that as well. Under the hood, we finally got the Tensor G5 chip. It's built on TSMC's 3nm process, faster and more efficient than last year. Not Snapdragon 8 Elite levels, but honestly, it's smooth, fluid, and it doesn't throttle as badly as the Samsung chips during gaming marathons. The Pro model gets 16GB RAM, the base gets 12GB, and about day to day, it all flies. Cameras are where the Pixel usually shine, and yep, still the case. The Pixel 10 now has a triple camera setup, 48MP main, 30MP ultra-wide and a 10MP telephoto with a 5x optical zoom. The Pros go even harder with the 50MP main and 48MP ultra-wide plus telephoto. Zoom goes up to 100x on the Pro models. Though honestly, it's more AI painting than photography that level. But what about everyday shots? These phones are still the quick snap kings. Night side is brighter, portraits are cleaner, and you get Google's AI tricks, the magic eraser, which is a best trick, and even a new camera coach that suggests a better framing. Talking about AI features, this is where Google flexes. Gemini Nano runs on a device powering live translation, smarter screenshots, and Magic Cube, which tries to suggest text replies based on your Gmail and messages. Sometimes useful and sometimes a little creepy, but hey, at least it's private on device. So should you buy it? If you love clean software, killer cameras, and long update support, yes, the Pixel 10 is basically the best Google phone ever. But if you're a hardcore gamer or need insane battery life, the iPhone 16 Pro Max or Galaxy S25 Ultra might serve you better. But for $799, the base Pixel 10 is fantastic deal. Honestly, unless you really want the 100x zoom or extra RAM, skip the Pro and save the cash. Alright, moving on to the big brother, the Pixel 10 Pro, and here's the twist. At first glance, you did think Google just copy-pasted the Pixel 9 Pro, slapped a new coat of paint on it and called it a day. But hold on, because the underhood, This phone does bring some shiny new tricks, a brighter than ever display, and of course more AI than you can shake a stick at. So design first. If you have seen a Pixel 9 Pro, you have basically seen the Pixel 10 Pro. Same aluminum frame, same camera bar, same Gorilla Glass Victus 2, but no SIM tray. And yep, Google pulled an Apple and went eSIM only worldwide. The phone feels premium with polished edges, a tighter build, and you now get Pixel Snap magnets, basically MagSafe for pixels, snap on a wallet, charger, or even Apple's MagSafe battery pack, and it works. That's a huge quality of a life upgrade. Talking about display, Google calls this the Super Actua Display, and it's no joke. A sharp LTPO OLED, 1 to 120Hz refresh, HDR up to 2200 nits, and pics of 3300 nits for highlights. Real world test, still over 2500 nits, brighter than the iPhone 16 Pro and even Samsung's S25 Ultra. This is officially the brightest phone screen you can buy right now. And specs wise, 16GB of RAM as a standard, up to 1TB storage, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, UW satellite connectivity. It checks the flagship boxes, and day to day it's smooth. Hardcore gaming, not so much. And yes, the cameras, Google didn't upgrade the hardware this time, but you still get a beastly setup. 50MP main shooter, 48MP ultra wide, 48MP telephoto with 5x optical zoom, 42MP selfies. Photos are gorgeous, natural tones, super sharp, and night shots. Zoom gets up to 100x with the AI ProRes zoom. Sometimes mind-blowing, sometimes, well, Picasso level AI guessing. But still, that 5 to 10x zoom range is honestly the sweet spot, and it's miles better than most rivals. Talking about the battery upgrades about the Pixel 10 Pro, it's not a huge leap from the Pixel 9 Pro. Around a day of use with the 4 or 5 hours of a screen time, but Pixel Snap magnet charging makes topping up effortless. Slap it on a MagSafe charger and you are good. It's slower than Samsung's 45-watt charging, but way more convenient. Talking about its AI features, this is where Google flexes hardest. Magic Cube pops up the info you need, like your dinner reservation or your friend's phone number, without you asking. The new Daily Hub ties your Gmail calendar and keep notes into one smart feed. Call Assistant transcribe calls, journal suggest entries based on your photos and health data, and live voice translation makes you sound like a polyglot. The best part? Most of this runs on a device thanks to Gemini Nano, so it's a private and fast. So you should buy the Pixel 10 Pro or not. From my side, if you want the brightest display, AI features that actually help, and one of the best camera system in the world, the Pixel 10 Pro is yours. But skip it if you are a gaming chaser performance, or if you need monster battery life. Samsung and Apple still lead there. And at $999, it competes head-on with the iPhone 16 Pro and Galaxy S25 Plus. And honestly, it feels like the most refined Pixel ever. If you're upgrading from a Pixel 10 or older, this is a no-brainer, but Pixel 9 Pro owners, you might want to wait one more year. Alright, we have covered the Pixel 10, we have covered the Pixel 10 Pro. Now it's time for the another big boy, the Pixel 10 Pro XL. This is Google's maxed out flagship. Bigger screen, bigger battery, bigger price tag. But here's the question, does XL means extra low or just extra large? Let's find out. Design wise, deja vu, seriously. If you put the Pixel 9 Pro XL and the Pixel 10 Pro XL side by side, you will need a magnifying glass to spot the difference. Still, it's a stunner, polished aluminum frame, matte glass black, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 front and back, IP68 water resistance. The catch? It's heavy, at 232 grams. This phone has a gym membership vibes. But thanks to that wide camera bar, it rests flat with a zero rocking, something iPhone still can't say, and yes, like its sibling. eSIMs only, no physical SIM tray in most regions. Now the cameras. Google plays it safe. Same triple setup, 50MP main, 48MP ultra wide, 48MP telephoto with 5x optical zoom, plus a 42MP selfie cam. The difference here? The larger screen makes framing shots way more immersive. Photos are classic pixels, natural colors, sharp details, unbeatable low light, and yes, you still get the headline 100x Pro res zoom. It's half magic, half AI hallucination. But within 5x to 10x, the results are a chef's kiss. Video maxes at 4K 60 natively, 8K if you want Google's Cloud AI to process it, and eventually Samsung still does native 8K on a device. Talking about the battery and experience, battery is bigger at 5200 mAh, but don't expect miracles, it still taps out after a day of use. Roughly 5 to 6 hours is screen on, charging faster now at 45-watt wired, 25-watt wireless with Google's new Pixel Snap magnets, aka MagSafe for Pixels. Works with Apple's MagSafe accessories too, which is honestly brilliant. Talking about its AI features, this is where Google throws everything at you. Magic Q pops up info during calls or chats. Though it's still hit or miss, voice translate genuinely jaw-dropping. It speaks another language in your voice, live or on device. Creepy but insanely cool. Then there's a camera coach, helping you frame shots, auto best take for group photos, and Pixel Studios for wild edits like dropping yourself in front of a burning dumpster. Because why not? So now the real question is, should you go with the Pixel 10 Pro XL? Yes. If you want the ultimate Pixel 10 experience, the biggest and brightest display, the most immersive camera viewfinder, and every AI Google trick that cooked up. And skip it if you already own the Pixel 9 Pro XL, because honestly, it's an evolution, not a revolution. And if you crave battery king status, the Galaxy S25 Ultra and iPhone 16 Pro Max still crush it. At $1,199, this is Google's best, but also its heaviest and maybe its safest flagship here, because big screen, big brains, slightly boring, but undeniably brilliant. And here it is, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, the one phone in Google's lineup that literally bans the rule. And this time, it's not just a foldable, it's the world's first IP68 rated foldable. That means dust-proof, water-resistant, and finally durable enough to not feel like you are carrying a tech prototype in your pocket. From the outside, it looks familiar. Aerospace-grade aluminum frame, Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and a redesigned hinge that's gearless. Rated for a decade of daily folding, but the real story is durability. This thing is dust-sealed and dunkable. Compare that to the Samsung's Z Fold 7 with its IP48, you will see why this is such a huge deal. When folded, you get a 6.4-inch cover screen, unfolded, and boom, an 8-inch tablet like a display. Yes, it's chunkier and heavier at 258 grams, but in return you are getting the most rugged foldable phone on the planet. Both displays are brighter than last year, peaking at 3000 nits. HDR pops, outer visibility is effortless, and the bezels are slimmer, which makes the cover screen more natural to use. Under the hood, the Tensor G5 chip, it's 34% faster CPU, 60% battery AI performance, and paired with 16GB RAM plus up to 1TB storage. Daily use, smooth multitasking with 3 apps side by side. Finally practical, hardcore gaming. Still not Snapdragon 8 Elite level, but improved. When talking about the battery and experience of a Pro Fold, battery jumps at a 5015 mAh, finally a foldable that doesn't feel allergic to endurance. Google's promises 30 hours with 50% charging in 30 minutes. Pixel Snap magnetic charging, aka Google's MagSafe, make accessories snap right on. It's also QI2 certified, so you are covered for the next wave of wireless chargers. But what about the camera hardware? Same as last year, 48MP main, 10.5MP ultra-wide, 10.8MP telephoto with 5x zoom, plus dual 10MP selfie shooters. But the magic isn't the hardware, it's the AI. New Camera Coach literally teaches you better photography in real time. Auto Best Take now auto picks the perfect group shot. Add Me feature lets you drop yourself into photos, and dual screen preview shows your shot while you are lining up this next. Zoom maxes at 20x Super Res, not quite the 100x of the Pro XL, but honestly way sharper than Samsung's foldable cameras. When talking about the AI features of a Pixel Pro Fold, this is where the Fold Flex is hardest. Magic Q surfaces your boarding pass mid-call or restaurant addresses mid-text. Live translation works in call, mimicking your voice in another language. It's creepy, it's genius, and it's all in device, thanks to Gemini Nano. And the Fold form factor makes AI even more useful. Drag and drop between apps, dual pan camera layouts, table astrophotography. This is peak Google software magic. So after all the specification of the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, should you buy the Pixel 10 Pro Fold? Yes, if you have been waiting for a foldable that feels ready for a real life, IP68, brighter screen, bigger battery, smarter AI, it's the closest thing we have got for the foldable phones. But if you want the thinnest design or absolute best camera, Samsung's Z Fold 7 and Pixel 10 Pro XL still edges out. At $1799, it's pricey, but finally it feels worth it. And that's it, the entire Pixel 10 family, the compact Pixel 10, the refined Pixel 10 Pro, the giant Pixel 10 Pro XL, and the rugged foldable Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Google's message is loud and clear. No matter what kind of phone you want, Slab, Pixel Pro or Fold, they've got you covered. Samsung and Apple, time to watch your backs because Google's playing the long game with AI and durability. So, would you go for the classic Pixel 10, the Pro, the massive XL, or take the leap and Fold? Drop your pick in the comments. Alright, that's for this week. See you soon with another incredible video. Till then, shalom to you and subscribe for more.